Hi, it's me. I'm like smiling. I went on a walk this morning. Oh, I didn't do any meetings. I gotta do some meetings. I did some food, 2 bowls of kelp noodles with. I found my cashew nut butter. It was all over here by the dehydrator. Cashew butter. I have some old vegetables in the fridge that need to be in the trash. I don't like wasting stuff. We have a very small fridge. I would try not to get stuff in the first place, but it gets stuck in there. Because stuff gets shoved in there. So I got some broccoli last week at Whole Foods. I gotta put that in the dehydrator. It won't last long. I'll eat it fast. It'll get stuck in my gums. That needs to be done right now soon. I wash the pan to get some water, some tea. I have a diet slim. I think it's mostly it's called dandelion. I got a detox and a diet slim. Let's read the label. I can't find my blue. I'm unable to find my blue Walmart leggings and tank top. I'm like, how the heck did I lose that? I was kind of digging through the drawers. I didn't see it. I got this set in the wintertime because I was wearing leggings all the time and wearing it under my pants. My jeans are too small. The jeans been wearing are like size 10s. I had lost a lot of weight so I had lost a lot of weight when I got to size 10, and then when I got to size 10, I got below size 10, or those got stretched out, because I had gained about 15 pounds when my son stopped going to school, just because of stress, and I was in med school, and it was no help available, and I ended up, your clothes can get stretched out, and then they shrink, and then you're like, oh, I wear a size 10, but it's like, you probably wear 12 or 14, but you stretched it out. So it'd be hard to sell something like that, unless you tell them it's stretched out or old, and do the measurements, not just the size. I had looking for my water. I had my daughter get the job, and I got laid off, and she kept getting she kept getting sent home early or getting called in, or I'd drop her off. Like, sometimes I'd drop her off and go to work, then she'd have like an interview or have a first date, and like, oh, they just sent me home. Like, oh god, now I have to ride the bus home. Like, I could have taken you back. I could have waited 5 minutes and took you back with me, and took you home on the way to my job. So it was really annoying. And then she would close and say, I don't know, I could be getting out at 9:45 or 10:45 or 10:30 or 9:40, like all these different times. So I sat in the car in the parking lot, and I put I wear these pants. You can't see them up close. I put sequins in the bottoms, and these are all messed up because I've been washing them. See, these are missing. I put sequins and beads, and I don't have any of my stuff here. I could sew that part up though. That's broken, and then I put them on the little fake pocket. It's like, let me check it. Maybe it's a real pocket. And so these I got, I think, at Fred Meyer. I think are these Dockers. This size 10 medium. Oh, look how old they are. I got these in med school. I got a pair of. Did I get these? I got a pair of green cargo pants, and the first day I wore them to class on a Saturday or Sunday. I wore them to weekend class. It might have been a business class, and I looked down, like in the morning, in the seam. And you know how you have a seam in a pair of pants? Like, you'll have this seam, but then inside you'll have this seam, the surge seam. So you have two, or I guess it's not. Yeah, there's a seam. So it's like the first one comes apart. You have like a second one, like what my leg wasn't dangling out of the side of the pants. But I was like, dang, I had just bought them. I just put them on for the first time. Those were Dockers. Were they Dockers? I don't know. They were like cargo pants. I still have them. I think they're too tight. Actually, they have the spandex, like the 2%. So like this part is all like bubbly. Those are hard to sell. Something like that. I was trying to sell clothes like that for gardening, camping, hiking, dirty work, like maybe horses. These pants. Oh my god, there's a hole in the butt. I didn't even notice that. Good thing I held these pants up. I was like so mad that I didn't sell. There's like a hole in the butt. I was so, you can't even see that. The light is too dark. I was so mad that I that when, okay, so I had lost weight, and then I put the sequins in, and then I gained weight. No, here's what happened. I lost weight, put the sequins in, tried the pants on, so they'd been in my closet, and say, oh my god, they're way too big. And I was probably being able, these are retired. That is like, this is all the pants that I wear have holes in the butt, and when you're fat, your legs rub together, so that makes it all worse for you. As far as going through pants faster, when you're thin and your thighs are thin, you go through your pants a lot slower. That's one of the sad facts of having your legs rubbed together. I went out on a walk with a skirt on, and my legs were like rug burning each other. It was a nightmare a couple of weeks ago. Okay. I thought, oh no, I should have sold these pants or gave them away because they're too big, but I spent all this time putting sequins on them. While I was in the car in the parking lot of the mall. And so I my boyfriend, I told you my kid's bedroom lights went out, the electric breaker, and we figured out it's my son's computer that's tripping it, and it's bad. It's like sizzle. I heard it on the phone, zzz, and my boyfriend's like, how did your daughter, did she turn it all the way off and then back on? How does she know how to do a breaker? Like, how are you sure? I was like, first of all, she's my kid, and I probably told her, like, listen, the first time I had a breaker off on a weekend, I just watched that squirrel jump from tree to tree, something in his mouth. It was a weekend, and I had the breaker go off, and I tried to just turn it on. So you know how, like, all of them are, like, flush like this when they're on, and when it trips, it's like that. So I tried to just push it like that instead of turning it all the way off and then back on. So we had several days with no electricity upstairs. I think it might have been only the hallway. There was a huge upstairs. It would be almost like the size of a small master bedroom. Just an open area upstairs, and there was a bathroom. So I was taking a shower in the dark. It was stupid. And then I had to have someone come over or call and be like, did you turn it all the way off and on? I'm like, oh my god, I didn't know that. That was 2005. I didn't know that. So ever since then. But this breaker has this breaker has this like, see that blue switch? That's something I'm not familiar with. And I know that this is our breaker, and so she would turn it off and back on, and it would end up right back in the middle. So my son's computer was plugged in, and I was trying to tell him, like, whoa, I don't want to nag. Unplug everything, turn everything off, make sure stuff's on a surge protector if you plug it in, blah blah blah. Like, I didn't want to nag them, and I should have in the first place said, before you do anything, unplug everything, turn the lights off. That would have resolved it, but because hopefully we didn't mess up my son's computer. I think his computer either got messed up because the outlet was plugged in has a crack in the plastic, and like maybe it got hit or something, or maybe it like pulsed out and made a explosion or something. I don't know. Anyways, so she has to work from her computer for 5 hours, and so she's plugged in the bare minimum of stuff in her room, and then we're trying to tell my son to, well, first we were like, take your computer downstairs, it's your outlet, then it could catch on fire, call maintenance right away. I said, oh shoot, we had a fire right in this outlet. We have 110, 220, we don't have a, what is it? It's not 110 that we were talking about. Volts, amps. This place has like half, it's like got very little power, and it's also the landlord's office is hooked up to the same breaker as our apartment, and it's awkward because everything we own, kitchen supplies, TV, the fans, the lights, the air filter, we have air condition that we borrowed downstairs, we have the dehumidifier, the refrigerator, microwave, coffee pot. Like, you can't plug everything in at the same time. And besides, like, the chargers and the phone chargers, you cannot plug everything in at the same time anyway. But it's like, if you had a vacuum, I turn off the fan, the TV, the lights, and everything, just as much as I can. Oh, and the electric heat is in here, and it's not enough. I don't know if it's the amperage, or it's supposed to be 20 and it's only 10 or something like that, or it's supposed to be 40 and it's only 20. So I have Sleep and Relax. I've done this one twice, I think. Passiflora. I saw a church cutting down the Passiflora, passion flower plant. This is probably the first time I've ever had that much passion flower. I feel like if I can make a juice, I don't even know. I don't know, for some reason I feel like there's something. The Clean and Detox, I have not used this one yet. So the Ophthalmosifon, the Rooibos, burdock, licorice, fennel, star anise, artichoke leaf, aloe vera leaf, lemon peel essential oil, and then peppermint aerial parts essential oil. And I don't offhand remember the orthosiphon leaf. I remember artichoke. My friend had made a tincture. She was in AA and she told me that I have a problem. I need to talk to my sponsors. I have a problem because I don't take tinctures. And she's like, I heat up water and I put tinctures in the night before and I let the alcohol evaporate. But I talked to my chemistry teacher and she's saying that it doesn't fully evaporate unless, because I was thinking chemically, when you are in lab for chem and OChem and you have alcohol mixed with water and you have to like boil it off, and you could boil off alcohol, but there's some alcohol that remains, like there's the OH and the H hydrogen, there's oxygen molecules, and alcohol, ethyl alcohol is ETOH. So you have, like, it's like somebody dyes their hair and without gloves and they didn't put Vaseline, and then you have like a residual, like this is the alcohol, this is the water, but it's now, some of it is tainted, and unless you wash off everything, that didn't really make sense. So supposedly in this source said that if you completely dissolve the water, then all the alcohol will be gone. If you try to dissolve the alcohol out, it doesn't all the way dissolve. So it remains. So everyone's like, don't worry, you'll cook it out of there. Don't worry, you'll cook it out of there. I've had beef jerky that I wouldn't eat, that I spent a lot of money on, grass-fed, something organic, and it had freaking alcohol from the soy sauce. I gave that to someone at church because I was like, I didn't want to have that. Can you believe it? And this job I try to get says it has several shifts for the weekend. It's stressing me the heck out. I'm like gonna eat some nuts. Sorry, this is too close to me leaning into the computer. I have not measured in a lab the amount of alcohol, but think about all of this time I spent talking about it. Why, if I have a problem with alcohol and not being in recovery for AA, if I don't want to take grain alcohol, I've had so many different types of tinctures prescribed that I've thrown out. I said, I'm in recovery, I don't think it's a good idea. Don't worry about it. I go home. One of them was in wine. One of them was in Burgundy. Most of it's distilled in grain alcohol. 100 proof alcohol. And you're like, you're sitting there like, excuse me, but my friend is skinny, and she went and tried a bunch of samples. We were studying together, And someone's like, they got some samples of some tinctures inside, or she went to the bathroom and saw this table set up. They always had it in medical school, tinctures and free pills, capsules and pills of natural medicines and herbs and minerals, and vitamins, and fish oils, and everything you can think of that you don't need a prescription for. She came back like, oh, let's get back to studying. Like, she was like wasted. They had little cups of like 6 different samples, and she goes over there and eats or drinks like 6 cups of this stuff, and you have it as, so a shot is like 1 ounce, and you have these little cups. Maybe they're only 1/4 of an ounce. Maybe they're like, they wouldn't be 1/2 ounce. Maybe they're like 1/8 of an ounce. But you pretty much just took a shot of liquor, of straight up liquor, and and if you're skinny and you don't drink that much, and it's gonna affect you, not eating, you know, you're sitting outside in the sun, it's gonna affect you. But the time that I was in Sunrise Place, where the lights went out, I had been given that dragon's claw or something tincture, and then I was sitting up all night. They're like, your back is like an old lady, you have to take this stuff, like, you need this and you need that, and there's like a demon in you. Like, this lady was crazy. She's like, I'm a Christian. She said the F word all the time, and she had the cross necklace, and I told her I was on a special diet and all this stuff, and I was like, well, I was thinking today, we're out late, I have to go to the store and get some chicken. She's like, that is the best idea, to go and get some fried chicken for you and your kids. And I was like, is it really? like I'm not against it, but it's like, if you have like food allergies and weight gain and stuff, but I mean, it's partly because of the protein, you know, getting enough protein, but it's so stupid. Like, there's teas like this that aren't alcohol. There's glycerites, there's powders, there's capsules. They had a class where you had to make tinctures, or they had to use tinctures and taste them and smell them and play with them and rub them on your skin. And the main thing, one of the things with the final project, was to have a chart of all the tinctures, and you had to put drops on the piece of paper. So if you had, like, say, turmeric, it was orange. You had these different tinctures that were distilled, and oh shoot, I have a bill due. And it was like, me and my friend talked to a teacher at the first class. They said you have to taste all of them and write on your paper what it tastes like. So me and my friend, she was like Muslim, she's like, I'm not going to ingest alcohol. I'm like, I'm in recovery, I'm not going to ingest alcohol. And there was another woman, she was like clean and sober, but she wasn't in like a program. And I think she was like, yeah, I'm not going to ingest alcohol. Like, what do we do? And this is like, well, you still have to take the class, it's required. And it was so sad, because it's like, I'd sit on this end of the table. They had a restaurant that had these stools, like we have stools that had glitter seats. And we had to sit around this big table at the front of the classroom. So there would be like, 10, 15 students around the table, all crammed in with our notes and our paper, passing these tinctures around. And it's like, it was so sad, I feel like a burden. The people next to us would like try it, and you look at their face and be like, did they go like this? Did they do this? Like, what's it like? Is it slippery? Is it dry? Is it smooth? Like, you know, like, is it bitter? You know, and it's like, okay, we have to write this down. But I mean, we got through it. It's just, you're an oddball, and it's not a very anonymous. But this lady, it's like, you have a problem with your program, you need to talk to your sponsor, because you're being sober long enough not to have a problem. You shouldn't have a problem with alcohol. But that last tincture that I took, prescribed by physicians and physician students, I was burping up that alcohol all night long. And I remember sitting on the futon downstairs. The kids were asleep or whatever, and it was a huge trigger, because it's like, say you're at a bar and somebody's like, you want a shot of whiskey, and you're like, I'm in recovery, but sure, I'll take a quarter shot. That won't count, right? So what's the difference? The difference is One is at a bar in the wild. One is in the freaking, what do you call it? Oh my god, doctor prescribed. If I went and bought a tincture myself, I've bought children's tinctures thinking that they were alcohol free and they had alcohol in them. They were glycerites. They said glycerites on the outside, but when you got them home and read the label, it said contains a certain amount of grain alcohol. And I was really ticked off because that stuff's expensive. And I'd get tinctures from my medical school sometimes, and they did have children's glycerites that I got my daughter that were put in the. I had a good one. Some Nervines. They put them in the fridge and stuff. And a lot of people make tinctures, and I don't make glycerites, and I don't make extracts, which Gaia herb extracts are alcohol distilled herbs, and they use carbon dioxide to extract the alcohol. So someone, if they're Muslim and they like can't touch pork and can't touch alcohol, that might not be good. But for someone like me, I don't. That would be like the only, like I have a hard time with the capsules and stuff. So if I could just get the extract in little drops or something, or to drop on a raw wafer or something like that, it'd be like a communion. Speaking of drops on a raw wafer, when I first got this vitamin D from Whole Foods, I keep kicking myself every time I had spent 10 minutes looking at hand sanitizer, and then COVID happened, and now there's like none on the shelf. I was like, oh man, I read somewhere that supposedly organic alcohol or something was less harmful for the skin. I don't know if I believe that, but it's too late because they're completely sold out, and I should have just purchased one. And I'm like, I don't want these with alcohol. I wanted the one with the thyme oil, which I have a whole bottle of thyme oil, which is expensive. I wanted thyme oil. Anyways, like oil-based spray is what I want. Cleanwell brand. It's hard to find that. I found some wipes, but Cleanwell brand was sold. I have left some in Portland where you spray your hands and the herbal stuff cleans the microbes. So I feel like I didn't have a problem with my program. I feel like I was strong in my program because I knew, oh, the battery's going to die again. We are draining this battery like crazy. I was strong in my program because I knew that I didn't want to be triggered. And if, like I said, if I was at a bar, there is a difference. If your doctor prescribes something and you're at a bar and you drink a half a shot or a sip of beer on purpose, I feel like that's a trigger. If you're at a bar and you ask for a ginger ale and they accidentally give you a mixed drink or something, that's a problem. You ingest something. You reactivate your alcoholic taste, your addiction, your physical addiction, but you mentally didn't do that. Someone said they went to Hawaii and got free drinks. You didn't realize the punch was, had alcohol in it. And there's also, if I had, if I had blue shoes that made me want to drink or use or hurt myself, why is it so hard, unless you need it for a job, to not wear blue shoes? Like, why should it be that you're weak in your program? Like, that's a strength, in my opinion, to recognize your triggers. And I keep using this example for, like, the shoe color for addictions, but I also use that for the analogy of the dog at the dog pound, and they were abused by someone with a man with a black baseball cap, and maybe they had a mustache, and every time the dog sees someone in a black baseball cap, particularly with a mustache, the dog scared, cowers, cries. But the same guy can take the cap off and the dog is fine. And if I'm hearing someone that sounds like my parents, or someone looks like my parents, and it triggers me, or the words make me feel like that, it's not that you're doing it on purpose. It's not that you're weak. There's something inside of you that is a survival skill because those people hurt you, and your body said warning, warning, you know, like a smoke alarm when it starts getting smoky, warning, warning, like it gets programmed to respond a certain way when this threat comes. And even if it's not the threat, how many times does a smoke alarm go off because somebody's cooking something or something splashed on the burner, right? It's not necessarily doing what it's programmed to do, but it's not necessarily necessary. Like, but at the same time, it teaches you, like, if you're cooking, to maybe not drip the grease on the burner, or open up a window, or turn the fan on, or make sure you watch what you're doing. Even if the thing goes off, to make sure it doesn't all up and flame. And if you're like me and you get traumatized by people that remind you of someone that hurt them, then your mind is going to want to be like, okay, like, your mind is going to want to be like, what is that I need to look at? If is this person even safe? And if they're not safe, if they are safe, then what do you need? It's like a grief. It's like you have to go through a grieving period. I've had people hurt me. I had my mom hurt me. I haven't talked to my dad in many years. All these different things. And I think that separation, you need to go through a grieving period of when your body naturally wants to have a parent, an elder, and someone that loves you unconditionally, and you don't have it, and you grew up with them programming you that you are wasting their time and that you should not be alive on this earth, and that they want to kill you and hurt others and harm you and physically hurt you. It's like you need to grieve the relationship. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Whether they're dead or alive, you need to, like, because if it's like a narcissist or they're abusive, psychopaths, you feel like if you're nice and caring and you do golden rule, do unto others. What if I'm not perfect with my kids and they decide not to talk to me and blah blah blah? It's like, well, that's their decision. I can't control it. But you don't want to be like bad karma. If I don't talk to them, it's gonna be bad karma. My kids won't talk to me. No, it's like they did something to you, and if you're nice and kind and loving, and the more they hurt you, the more nice, kind, and loving you became. It's like your body thinks that they're going to change, thinks that you're contagious, that your love for them is going to reflect back to you somehow, or that you're walking on eggshells, and then it becomes warped because then you're walking on eggshells and you're doing things that are harmful and you're keeping yourself in harm's way. So I'm going to go and get out of my meeting, and I'm going to shop. My boyfriend wants me to do the Patagonia. My brother's girlfriend wants me to go to a thrift shop or a woman's center, whatever that means. I don't even know what a woman's center is. Like, I had some clothes on the ground from a homeless shelter once. So that's about what my mind thinks. It's a pile of clothes from 1964. Yeah, or double breast polyester pantsuits that have a permanent crease, and they never need to be ironed, and they never break down no matter how many times you wash them. That's what I had. Some of my grandma's clothes like that. They got left behind. I got a lot of stuff that got left behind. It's a dang shame sometimes, but I'm gonna go on my meeting. I had a different kind of energy this morning, and my battery is dying, but it only holds like three videos. I had a different kind of energy this morning because I went on a walk this morning. I believe I mentioned, because the internet was out, so I didn't post that second video yesterday, I don't think. Of course, it came back when my partner came home. I was like, "What? The internet's working?" I don't know. Like I had used a hotspot from my thing, and then my phone. I was in a Zoom meeting in the evening, and it kept cutting out. And my kid, was having a spat. I was like, I'm in a meeting right now. Can you wait a few minutes? And he was like, okay. And then I 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 was like, okay at the end of the conversation about the rent check not getting sent, because we thought we could do everything through the website, and the website did not work. We could not sign up to do. We could not get an account. It did not recognize our apartment complex or whatever. That was what saved him. It was only the 30th. My son had some starter checks. We had to transfer money into his account. He doesn't have like the debit card. He doesn't know where any of his cards or anything is for his accounts. And I also oh, that looks like the landlord's sister. It's none of my business. Let's take that back. Oh, that I don't want to do this. The Star Spangled Banner, is that the song? Purple Mountains, Majesties. This is Majesties. I have a calendar that was free from the library that has, it's like federal, and it's got all these landmarks and the song verse on each month on each page, and it has a bunch of American flags. It's really hard. There was another one I was gonna get, and it was like the Republican something something. That's the first one I get until I read the back and saw who put it out, and I was like, I don't care if someone's Democrat or Republican, but I don't want to deal with the racist people associated with the party. Some pretty bad apples, you know. I'm gonna get on my Zoom meeting, and I'm gonna do the. I really want to eat. If I have on clothes like this one I got last summer from Fred Meyer, they got that new line of clothing. If I wear clothing that I don't want to get stains, then I'm less likely to eat. But I don't know if it's a good idea. Then I'll take the clothes off and eat. In my house in Portland, I would put on an apron. So I do have the blinds open. You don't want anyone seeing me sitting in here eating with my shirt off. And I'm working on my idea of making I have one piece of fabric. So I'm working on trying to do a apron. And I was like, am I gonna double it? Put pockets in it. Like if you double it and you drip grease, you still don't want to wear nice pants under it. But I was like, I should double the top and the bottom. I don't even know if I have enough fabric for that. So I was thinking maybe making the bottom one layer, maybe make the top 2 layers, and then using my partner. He was trying to throw these pants in the trash, these corduroys. I was thinking of using the corduroys as pockets, as long as it doesn't weigh it down too much. And then using the corduroy for the window to make like an extra window to make it dark, so I could sleep during the day, and so that we could see the TV. He put a whole bunch of clothes over this window when we first moved in the middle of the day to watch a movie that was dark. I don't know if it was one of those superhero movies. I fell asleep. Like, that was like one of the deepest sleeps that I had. He made it dark during the day, and I was like so I'm really affected by light and sound and energy and electricity going through the TV, like, and lights flashing at night, like everything during the day, birds chirping. It's a really pretty day too. So if I get clothes, I need them. I feel like I'm a sausage. These clothes are too small. The jeans I mostly wear every day have holes in them. The black pants I've been wearing every day do have a hole in the butt, and I was going to throw those out, or those are H&M. The other ones are Dockers. I've had them for several years. I don't buy a lot of clothing. The H&M I was considering buying. I'm surprised these are size 12s. I got them big. I should have got an 8 or 10 when I got those, but they were like tight fitting, and we were at a job and we weren't supposed to wear tight pants. I'm like, I can hardly find the outfit for this job, for the sales job. We had to wear black button-up shirts and with the collar, and black pants that weren't leggings or tight. And I was like, every single freaking clothing item I find is tight. Like, that's just the style right now. It's like hard. You almost getting black jeggings because you can't find anything else. Which I don't officially have any jeggings, but you see that. You look at them. So it's like I got them big so that they lay wider on my leg, and then that calf part would look like it goes out a little bit, like a trouser pant. And then I got some other pants that I need to sell. soon. I need to sell a bunch of stuff, and those are really tight, and they have like bell bottom bottoms, and they're petites, and they're I could fit in a petite, but my body style is not petite at my hip, my pelvis area, and everything. It's usually too short, but it'll keep my pants from dragging in the dirt. These look like they're supposed to be kind of like capris at H&M. I only have a few clothes. They're all too small now. It's a shame. I have some G by Gus clothes. Some of those. I have a skirt out here. It's probably too small. I probably got a medium though. Their stuff seems to run small. So I'm trying to decide. Patagonia, get a coat for $99, which is expensive. Patagonia, Goodwill option. I was looking at that when my kids called. I could hardly look at anything. Kohl's has Kohl's Cash. Their website didn't work this morning. Everyone's probably trying to buy up for the Mother's Day deal. And then, what else? I was looking at Helly Hansen, and everyone on there was like white. I looked at Patagonia, and like they had some dark people. You know, still like people had dark people. They're like mixed with. They don't have like kinky hair like me, but you see someone that's just not like flash white. Um, it's like this is not marketed to me, and I don't feel I should get my money if they cannot even put one person of color or somebody with not blonde hair. Like it creeps me out. I mean, the same thing with size. I was trying to look at Nordstrom and Nordstrom Rack. I did Nordstrom Rack the other day because the Nordstrom website was not it was blocked. Like it wasn't letting me click on anything. So I've been having trouble with that. I could try a smaller company, and some of the smaller companies aren't getting as much business. I used to do Working Gear out of Brooklyn, New York. I don't even know how easy it would be to get stuff. And then I need to order a Sharps container. There's some things I need to order. I'm going to do my video upload and my I'm really hungry though. But yeah, I need clothes that fit, period, so I can go out in public, so I can be in the house and be dressed, so I can go on my walks and be dressed, so I can have a raincoat that I can wear and have it last. I do really want the pocket here so I can stick my phone in there. I mean, I could go without it and pay less, like $20 less. I swear that pocket is like worth $20 to $50. But I feel like if you're gonna get something and it's a good name, you want to get something that works for you, because there's a reason that you like that, and every time you wear a sweater or a jacket that doesn't have that, you're like, oh my god, like you're carrying stuff around, and you're like, oh, I hope it doesn't fall in the puddle. And if you have pockets that don't zip on the bottom too, you have the rain coming in there. If they're open, even if they have, like this has snaps, and some you put your hand in your pocket, you forget about it, and then you grab the tissue, and next thing you know, the rainwater and everything went in there. The zipper, like if you're a type of person that has to take your coat off all the time and set it down on the car seat or in a public place or at a meeting, you don't want your stuff falling out of your coat pocket. So there's little different things besides just going in the car to work where you have your own office or cubicle and coming back home. It's like doing house calls and doing walking and exercising and sharing a vehicle and having to like take it out every time you get it. Like before I would like keep my coat in the car in my backpack, but now I don't have the car with me, like we're all together all the time, so it's like I don't know if I'm gonna need I was getting rides for a while. I don't know if I need a ride or take an Uber somewhere or walk somewhere, then I'm gonna want my hats and gloves and stuff that I was keeping. I left a pair of gloves in the car. So it's just a big whirlwind. I need to be earning money. I felt like in my heart to take today, tomorrow, and Sunday off because I'm drained from all the work I did this week, and then to get right on it Monday morning. And it's really hard for me to take a break. I do have to get a blood draw tomorrow, which I'm really scared about. And I made the appointment really early. Then I have my Al-Anon at 9. Bye.